Wednesday edition, Mr. Irrelevant, presented by County Distillery and brought to you by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Josh DiMaggio's back, and he will be with you Friday and Monday as I make an adventure to Nashville, Tennessee this weekend. First time I've been back in Nashville in over 3.5 years, so looking forward to get back there as the Packers prepare for their Week 3 matchup with the Tennessee Titans, the Malik Willis revenge game. Producer Tiny Hands, Hunter Vaughn with you back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison at the ESPN Madison Studios. A couple of things to get to today, as I do want to talk what's next for the Packers. I'm off Friday, I'm off Monday, so this will kind of be my last chance talking with you ahead of Packers Tennessee coming up on Sunday. Joshy, as I mentioned, will have you Friday and Monday as I make my endeavor to and from Nashville, Tennessee. So we will dive into how the Packers sustain what they established last week against the Indianapolis Colts. The ground and pound run game was unbelievable for the Green Bay Packers last week against Indianapolis. Josh Jacobs was an absolute maniac, when it came to running the football. Can the Packers duplicate that in week number 3? We'll get to that shortly. I said on Monday's show, I think Matt LaFleur solidified being a top 5 coach in the NFL right now. Keywords, right now. Brad Nortman from Kyle Burst and Nortman had the same idea. He actually ranked the top 5 head coaches. We'll take a look at his rankings. We will do our own. We will also present to you the second edition of one word for each NFL team following week 2 of the NFL season. I've got one word written, a couple of acronyms, but I think I stuck to one word for each NFL team this week. We will do that a bit later. I went down Bernie's slide. So did Hunter yesterday at AmFam Field. So we will take a look at some of that and, of course, wrap up the show with what we learned. Live with you on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, ESPN Madison Facebook page, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Wisconsin On Demand. Let's start with the news from yesterday. That is that MarShawn Lloyd, the Packers rookie running back, is headed to injured reserve. After making his NFL debut this weekend, I thought he showed a couple of nice things. He didn't get a ton of playing time, but I thought the few things he did, he had some nice flashes, and I thought he made a nice impact for the Green Bay Packers there in his debut, which was a good sign. And now he heads to IR, so he will miss at least 4 games with his hamstring injury that's kind of bothered him here, in both the preseason and the early parts of the regular season. I don't think you lose that game against Indianapolis with or without MarShawn Lloyd, and I don't think it really changes the outcome of this weekend's game against the Tennessee Titans. I am fascinated, though, by the idea of what Josh Jacobs did a week ago. 32 carries, over 150 yards, and what should have been a touchdown, but ultimately was the fumble at the goal line. Emmanuel Wilson will be his backup. And they bring in a new running back. I think it's Chris Brooks is the new name of the running back the Packers signed and brought in yesterday as kind of their third running back now with MarShawn Lloyd on the IR. I don't think it impacts your running game a ton. I still think, Jacobs will have the lion's share of carries and touches, and Emmanuel Wilson can kind of backfill what he doesn't get or can't get if he needs a quick blow on the sideline. So this doesn't worry me a ton in terms of Lloyd's long-term fit on this team, in terms of his long-term development. It sounds like they're playing it safe with MarShawn Lloyd, and that's probably the way to play it this early in the season as you're 500. You're 1-1 on the year following the win this past weekend. So this doesn't bother me. This doesn't irritate me. This doesn't concern me one bit. I think this is the safe decision for the Packers to send Lloyd to IR, let him heal up, and hopefully he can make a nice push in the second half of his rookie season once he returns to the sideline and the field for Green Bay. So not concerning. This is the right move. And you let Jacobs, who's healthy and a workhorse, and he's been pretty durable in his NFL career, and Emmanuel Wilson handle the running back room from this point forward. If one of those two goes down, then you might want to be concerned with what the Packers' backfield looks like. But when you bring in a guy like Josh Jacobs, and he does what he did in week 2, you feel pretty darn comfortable with that position. So Lloyd to IR, not the end of the world, not a huge story, no concern for me. This seems like the safe move for Green Bay. Let's talk about this upcoming weekend, though. What's next for the Packers after they completely expose Indianapolis' defense? They expose their run defense. They have their way all afternoon long at Lambeau Field this past weekend. Can the Packers duplicate the performance in which they had in week number 2 at Tennessee? Now, you always have to take power rankings with a grain of salt. but I do like reading the power rankings over at ESPN.com that they put out every Tuesday. The Packers slid down the power rankings after a win in week 2. They were ranked number 12 in the league. They are now, in this week, number 15 in the league. That's trash. That's hot garbage. That's ridiculous. We can all agree on that. But what I do want to put some investment in, and what I do take a look at and take note of, is the fact that the Packers beat the number 28 team last week. The Colts ranked number 28 in this week's power rankings. This week they play team 29, which is the Tennessee Titans. Those are two things I can agree with, Hunter.
Yeah, I do also want to remind you that, like, while it might be trash that they're, number 15 now or whatever they fell to, like, you've talked about it, other shows have talked about it, so it got clicks on the website, so it did exactly what it needed to do for ESPN. So I don't know how trash it is if it literally did its job.
All right. I don't know why you got to be logical here, Hunter. I'm trying to be a fan. I'm trying to... This is a team that deserves more respect. And also, I think it's going to get clicks regardless, right? Because each fan base wants to see where they rank. And it is one of the longest running power rankings out.
You know, it's 2024 now. The analytics were maybe showing that they weren't getting as many clicks in the upper Midwest as they wanted. So let's knock down the Packers a little bit. That'll get people to click on it, talk about it a little bit more. You get even more clicks there. It's all part of the game, man.
It's all part of the game, man. You sounded a little bit like, who am I thinking of? Who's the head coach that would always say, man, I don't know. You'll think of it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
ADHD. I don't either. I'll think of it. Anyway, so what's next for the Packers here as they get ready for the Tennessee Titans in week 3? So my point is, you're going from facing trash team to trash team, which is a great point and a great way to look at it for Packers fans. As we've said multiple times since the Jordan Love injury week 1 against Philadelphia, if this is going to happen, this is kind of the time you want it to happen. You play the Colts, you play the Titans, and if it gets down to it, you're going to play the Vikings next week. Vikings got a nice win in week 2, though, beating the 49ers over the weekend. But there's 3 teams that don't scare you and shouldn't scare you because they're not playoff teams. Tennessee's certainly not a playoff team. They are gross, man. Will Levis is not a good quarterback. The coaching change they made is not seemingly working out through 2 weeks at 0-2. Tennessee doesn't have a defense. Like, they don't scare me at all, and they shouldn't scare Matt LaFleur, given what he drew up last week. I do have some worries, though, that you're not going to be able to establish the run game as well as you did early against Indianapolis. Let's keep in mind, Josh Jacobs was close to 100 yards rushing in the first quarter on Sunday against Indianapolis. I don't think he's going to be able to do that again against Tennessee. While you feel confident in feeding him the rock over and over and over again, and you feel confident that he can make some things happen given the way he's just built. He's built different. Is Josh Jacobs, the running back of the Green Bay Packers. I don't know that you're going to be able to do that again. And I imagine in terms of Malik Willis's usage, it will be similar to a week ago. They only asked him to throw the ball 14. They actually asked him to throw the ball 15 times. He just only threw it 14 times because Josh Myers yacked all over the football on the 15th attempt. So we're just going to call it an even 15. They only asked him to throw the football 15 times last week. I imagine unless they're playing from behind, that number doesn't go up a whole lot. It might be 16, 17, 18, but I don't think he's going to throw the ball more than 20 times again, assuming they have an early lead again. And whether that's in the form of a field goal or a touchdown, this Packers defense is going to run rampant on Sunday against Tennessee. Tennessee just does not scare me at all. Like, less than the Colts did. The Colts offense at least has some firepower with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson and Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, who scored the only touchdown for the Colts against the Packers. The Titans don't have that. I mean, if it was 2018, they might have that with Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. But it ain't 2018. Right? Those names don't scare me in 2024. Calvin Ridley's still got some ball left in him, and he's a big receiver. And I don't know how well, in terms of the height game, Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander match up. But, again, it ain't 2018. DeAndre Hopkins ain't going for 1,500 yards this season. Will Levis is not a good quarterback. It's amazing to me that Malik Willis was the third best quarterback in Tennessee, at least what they thought. I don't view Malik Willis as the best backup quarterback in the league by any means. But Will Levis does not look good through 2 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if they go to Mason Rudolph at some point. Tennessee does. Maybe not Sunday, but sometime this season. So they don't scare me at all. Their running game is not intimidating. The receivers were really good. Oh, I missed Tyler Boyd's on there too. So in 2019, this would have been a hell of a receiving core. Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tyler Boyd. But it's not 2019. They're not what they once were at all. This would be a really good team in 2019. But it's not 2019, thankfully, for the Packers defense, who looked really, really good last week against a better offense in their division. I think the Packers defense is going to create more turnovers. Will Levis has been turning the ball over like it's his second job the last 2 weeks. And the Packers defense can expose that. Jeff Hafley has emphasized turnovers. They had 7 interceptions all of last year. They already have 5 this season. 2 against Philadelphia, 3 against Indianapolis. This is a team that's creating turnovers, emphasizing takeaways, and they're living up to it through 2 weeks. So I think this Packers defense can pretty much say, hey, Packers offense, here's it handed to you on a silver platter, go win the game. And Josh Jacobs should be able to do that. It might be ugly. It might be low scoring like it was a week ago, 16-10. But I think that's all it's going to take to win the game. So I have no doubt the Packers win this weekend. Is that overconfidence? Yeah. I legitimately I have no doubt the Packers win on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. They do not scare me at all. But even with Malik Willis, Hunter.
You also have to remember that the Titans are still an NFL roster, and they have NFL quality coaches for them. So unless
do we know that? But do we know that?
Most of those guys, if I had to go through their coaching staff, and I don't know every single position coach for the Titans, they have probably coached at other teams. So I'm just making the assumption that they're quality enough where they've seen what the Packers did last week. And now my worry is Malik Willis able to, even with the limited number of passes he saw, be able to do enough things to make things look similarly to what they were doing, but throw off the defense enough? Can he handle now that adjustment to the adjustment that's going to happen? Because the Titans are going to sell out on the things that the Packers did against the Colts last week. And now are the Packers able to adjust to that and know that that's what's going to happen and still be able to be successful? Or is Malik Willis going to struggle being able to do that? That's the big test now for this team.
Yes. A lot of what I'm saying is tongue-in-cheek, Hunter. So your point is 100% correct. But the one thing that we know the Packers are going to do is pound the rock early. And in order to stop it, you have to stop it. And I don't know that I believe in Jeffrey Simmons, as good as he is, to be a one-man wrecking crew for this Titans defense. So I view it as, until they stop and slow down Josh Jacobs, and until they have a lead, which I don't know that they will ever have one, the Titans will, the way they played the last 2 weeks. If the Packers get an early lead, I think this game is theirs, right? Unless the Titans completely eliminate Josh Jacobs as a threat, and it all boils down to Malik Willis needs to go in there and beat them. But I like the idea of Willis having a little extra chip on his shoulder given who he's playing this week. The team that traded him, the team that gave up on him as a day 2 pick. I would love to see the Malik Willis show. I don't know that we will, but I really think the Packers could win this game handedly, even with Malik Willis playing quarterback. That's where my head's at. And maybe I'm overconfident coming away from the weekend and the win over the Colts, but Malik Willis, you're being asked to do the same thing you were a week ago, which is do not turn the ball over, and the Packers will win this game.
Are you feeling as confident if potentially maybe an 80% Jordan Love is practicing? Because I'm just going to put that up on the screen. Rob Domofsky tweeted 4 minutes ago that Jordan Love is back at practice.
Whoa!
Yeah. So
whoa!
if he's 80%, are you going Jordan Love instead of Malik Willis?
Ignore everything I just said. Ignore everything I just said. as much as I want to see the Malik Willis revenge game, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. To quote our friend Rob Domofsky from earlier in the week, this is no charade. Oh, baby. Hunter, way to drop that bomb on me. Jordan Love has returned to practice today for the Green Bay Packers. I think we might need to kill the Malik Willis revenge game. And maybe this will be a charade this week. They roll with Willis one final time, but wow, he was close a week. I would guess Jordan Love's going to start if this is the sign, if he's running on a Wednesday. We'll find out more later. There's player availability with Love practicing. That means he is subject to be interviewed by the media following practice.
Like, what percentage of healthy does Jordan Love need to be to play? If he's practicing, like, what number would you put that at?
I'm sorry. Number I would put what at? That he's playing?
Like, percentage healthy. Like, I said, like, 80%, but, like, if he's, like, 70% healthy, is he playing?
I mean, if he's practicing, I would guess he's more than 70% healthy. So, yeah, I would guess if everything goes right today and he's cleared, and clearly he's cleared to practice, if he's a full go today, he might still be a limited participant. That part we don't know yet. I would guess Jordan Love's playing Sunday. That is huge breaking news here in the middle of our show. Episode 158 of Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Door County Distillery and Underdog. Yeah, with this news, I would guess Jordan Love, if everything goes well, will play Sunday in Tennessee, which changes things a lot, because I was just telling you how confident I am the Packers win with Malik Willis. I don't think this changes the game plan a ton. Right? You're still going to want to establish the ground and pound. You're still going to want Josh Jacobs to get going on Sunday. But if Jordan Love plays, you can up my already very confident confidence to incredibly confident confidence. If Jordan Love comes back on Sunday, the Packers might win by 35 points. If Jordan Love, I gotta take a breath. If Jordan Love plays Sunday, there's zero doubt in my mind the Packers are walking away from Tennessee 2-1. Imagine just the boost of confidence that would give that locker room. You're coming off of a nice win with Malik Willis playing quarterback. Now you bring in your $55 million quarterback off a sprained MCL who only missed one game. That would be quite the sight to see at Nissan Stadium on Sunday. Here's the dilemma I'm having. So I'm going to Nashville this weekend. I do not have tickets to the game yet. We're about to take a break. I think I might have to buy tickets in the break. Jordan Love's playing. I did not expect him to practice this week. I figured they'd give him the week off. LaFleur said it is not a prerequisite. He needs to practice to play. But as you see on the screen right now, Jordan Love has returned to practice per Rob Domofsky, our friend from ESPN. Went through stretch and all the early drills with a sleeve on his left leg. First time he's practiced since week 1. Left knee injury. How you feeling, Packers fans? Get up in this chat. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube. Think Love plays? A Wednesday practice is interesting. You know, if he's doing the Friday walkthrough, it's one thing. A Wednesday practice, it gives me strong indication we will see Jordan Love on Sunday. That's huge news. Thank you for breaking in with that, Hunter. That is massive news for Packers fans. It should be a massive raise of your confidence.
Yeah,
let's continue to react to this coming up next, because I've got more thoughts on Jordan Love returning to practice that we'll get to in a second. But first, got to tell you about our awesome partner. That's Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Hey, Milwaukee's baseball team might clinch today. Love's back at practice today. We might be popping bottles at 12:51 p.m., baby. DoorCountyDistillery.com. Find the retailer nearest you and a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. Everything Door County Distillery does. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. Whiskeys, gins, vodkas, brandies for your old-fashioned. They're the best. They're local. They're affordable. And they do it better than everybody else. Support local. DoorCountyDistillery.com. We step aside for 60 when we come back. More reaction to Love returning to practice. We will also rank our top 5 NFL head coaches that you want right now. And we play one word of each NFL team after week 2. More love reaction coming up next. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Where in the world is Door County Distillery today? It brings me to Sugar River Pizza, the legendary in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Let's go to the bar. Let's see what they've got. We're here in the beautiful bar at Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie. My guy Kyle just mixed me up a cherry brandy old fashioned with the cherry brandy from Door County Distillery. It's delicious. I tell you it all the time. It's proving it right here. The best.
I'll tell you what, Kyle can make a cocktail.
All right, power ranking. Top 3 drinks to have from Door County Distillery. We're going 3-1. Number 3, it's a split decision, but they're both on the rocks. Either the 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey or my personal favorite, the bourbon. Right on the rocks. Nice Sunday night in the weekend. I love it. That's number 3. Number 2, the Cherry Cosmo with that green bottle of gin. That thing tastes like summer. It's unbelievable. It's delicious. You got to try it. Check out the recipe. DoorCountyDistillery.com. Number 1, it's in my left hand right now with the cherry brandy made with local Door County cherries. The cherry brandy old fashioned. That's my list, but there's no wrong answers. You got to find out for yourself. DoorCountyDistillery.com. Let me know what you think in the comments below. DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website. All right, let's continue to react. Jordan Love returning to practice today for the Green Bay Packers as they are still 4 days out from playing the Tennessee Titans in Nashville on Sunday. See some reaction rolling in on the ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison YouTube chats. Want to get to that. Daryl says, hey, I'll see you at the game in Nashville. I might not be at the game. I still don't have tickets. I might end up at a bar. I might end up in Nissan Stadium, but this Jordan Love news might sway me, in terms of buying tickets. But we'll see. I wanted to get down there and party with my people, my Packers fans, my cheeseheads down in Nashville. So we'll see what happens. But I'll see you on Broadway, Daryl. I'm heading down on Friday morning. My guy Jacob on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. You see him on TV all the time up in the La Crosse area. What's up, Jacob? He says, I'm still confident we win without him. But just got to make sure there's no big risk. Yeah, and I'm with you on that. But I would imagine the mindset has to change after you leave week 2 with a victory, right? If you're 0-2 heading to Tennessee, you probably feel a little bit different about pushing Love back, maybe a little bit earlier than you'd want or expect with if you're 0-2. But you're 1-1. You have a victory under your belt. You're playing a bad Tennessee team who I just don't have any worries about. But if he's ready to go, you play him, right? You're not paying him $55 million a year to sit on the sidelines and sit in sweatpants if he's good. If he's good to go. He's wearing a sleeve on his leg, so clearly there's still some pain or discomfort or something of the in-betweens or concern. But to go back to what Hunter said, if he's 85, 90% good, and there's no real concern for further injury, I have no problem playing him Sunday against Tennessee. Producer Groundhog is back after a few days away. That's Joshie DiMaggio, who just popped the headphones on. I imagine something I said caught his ear. What's up, Joshie?
Not so much what you said. I do have a curiosity now, though, because with him practicing on Wednesday, Jordan Love, I feel like every Packer fan is 100% they'll see Jordan Love that weekend. Is that how we should be this weekend? Should we be proceeding that way? Because I feel like people would be very, very upset now if he didn't end up playing on Sunday.
We shouldn't act like it's a guarantee because this is clearly a test of sorts, right? And we still won't know if he's a limited participant or a full participant until later. The media is only allowed to view a certain portion of practice before they get to the real stuff. So we don't know. Maybe he's just stretching things out and working through some things, throwing a football, I imagine, at a decent speed for the first time in a few weeks. So no, I wouldn't view it as a full-blown guarantee that Love plays on Sunday. But this is clearly the best sign, right? Aside from the Matt LaFleur jibber-jabber we've heard the last week and a half with him refusing to rule him out week 2, to, hey, I'm avoiding, Matt LaFleur again earlier this week, kind of saying he's avoiding the trainers until after he talks to the media. This is no charade, right? I believe Rob Demovsky through and through when he said on your show, Joshie, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, weekday morning 7 to 9, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, when he said on Monday it was no charade, he was close to playing on Sunday. Malik Willis didn't know he was the starter until Saturday. So I would guess we are leaning probably more towards Love playing than Malik Willis playing on Sunday.
I have to disagree with Rob a little bit here. I don't know if the Packers are playing a charade, but somebody's playing a charade.
Who?
I don't know. I thought this was all gamesmanship.
Trust me, bro.
I thought this was all gamesmanship that was going on here. And it seems like Jordan Love was either extremely close or was cleared and chose not to out of concern for that ligament. Because if you're first practice back now after missing, and I guess the amount of participation is going to matter at the end of the day here. But he was practicing last week, but not in the way that we all, like, he was on the field. He was hiding in the back. Rob told us that. He could see him like in the training room of the Hudson Center. So once the media left, he did go out there. So I don't know what the charade is, but there is some sort of charade out at foot.
It's such a great sentence that I'm not even going to respond to it. That was good. That was really good. Maybe. I don't view this as gamesmanship, though. He's not practicing today if it's for gamesmanship.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I'm saying there has been a charade. I just can't figure out who's pulling the charade.
Yeah. And I'm not going to dive into that right now because clearly we're past charades, which is great. I never liked the game charades. I'm not very good at it. I like to talk too much. So, never really been my cup of tea anyway.
No.
I think we should play charades for the YouTube audience one time here.
Okay, yeah, I bet our podcast listeners would love that.
Not like it.
Yeah, I bet they would love the awkward silence going on. Joshy, who am I?
Jordan Love.
Oh, I didn't even grab my knee yet. I was going to throw a football and grab my knee.
As we're literally talking about Jordan Love, and then you go, your first charade, you go throwing a football.
Well, I'm not handsome enough to do Matt LaFleur. I mean, I guess I could touch my eyebrows for charades, but anyway.
That would be a good giveaway.
Yeah, that would be, actually.
A headset slam. Now, we don't want to break the headsets here, but that would be a dead giveaway.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, we're on to something here, fellas. On to something here. Look, final thought on this, and maybe we'll get back to it a bit later. I know we got to end a little bit early today, about 1:20 we're out. I would guess Love plays. This is my final show of the week, so I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to say Love starts on Sunday. That would be my prediction as it stands right now. Let's go around real quick. Joshy, you think Love plays?
Sorry, I put my headphones on. Yes, I do think he plays.
Thanks for not slamming them down, though. We appreciate
yes.
it. You think Love plays as well?
Yeah, it just seems like if you're practicing, if you're good enough to practice, and you said it, the participation level is going to matter.
Yeah.
But there was a reason that timeline was shorter than we all thought. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just because they were hoping and praying. It's because the severity was less than we all had originally thought.
Which is good news.
Yes.
Of course. Right.
And as long as he can protect himself, there's no reason not to play him.
Yeah, that's the one concern. I saw somebody chimed in with it. I think it was Daryl who said as long as he, avoids getting hit in intentional grounding, do the Tom Brady intentional grounding instead. Yeah, I'm with you on that. If he can protect himself and we have no concerns for further injury, I have no issue with him playing on Sunday.
And Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins showing us you don't really have to move all that much to play quarterback.
Not well, no. and look, Love is mobile-ish. He's not Malik Willis mobile, but he's mobile-ish. And even if that eliminates that part of his game, I trust him a heck of a lot more throwing the football, even on an 80% knee, than I do Malik Willis, who, hey, look, he sufficed last week. He got the win. He got the job done. Props to him. And I imagine he's really licking his chops for the Malik Willis revenge game like I was. But sorry, Malik, take the back seat, put the headset back on, grab the clipboard. It's Jordan's time to shine. I say Jordan Love plays. Joshy says Jordan Love plays after this news. Hunter, what do you think?
I think he's playing too, and I think it's going to be a lot of the runs out of the shotgun. They're not going to ask him to bend over to be under center and have to get himself back to the running back for the running game. That way then he doesn't have to move really at all, and even on play action then off of that, you're still he's maybe dropping back 2 steps. Just to make it as easy on him as he can. And I think the Packers are so much better than the Titans that if you have Jordan Love back there throwing it, he doesn't need to sit there and move and roll out. You don't have to fake out that defense a lot. As long as you can contain Simmons inside, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, totally right. Simmons is the one guy that concerns me from that defense. Similarly to DeForest Buckner, who I know the Colts lost early in Sunday's game, but I have no concerns against that Titans defense and their offense, man. Like I've said a million times, it was really good in 2019. the pieces they've got on that. Tony Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd, and Will Levis. I mean, he was good in 2019, I think. He might have been a backup, actually, at that point. He wasn't drinking mayo in his coffee quite yet. Joshy?
We should be concerned about Harold Landry as well.
Yes. Good D-back, yeah.
No.
Outside linebacker.
Oh.
Yeah. He has 44.5 career sacks.
Oh.
He's had double-digit sacks multiple times.
Lifelong Titan?
Yeah, Boston College.
Has he been with the Titans? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like a big bendy type of guy.
Bendy. Interesting.
Good ankle
choice.
flexion.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. It's a decent D-line, but still. Packers O-line, running attack, Love back. Whew. Watch out. 40 points coming. They're going to look like the Saints on Sunday. 40 points. All right. So we all think Love plays. This is interesting. Interesting development up in Green Bay. Appreciate you reacting with us on that. All right, I do want to get to this because it caught some attention on social media when I said Monday, I think Matt LaFleur solidified himself as a top 5 coach. Brad Nortman followed it up on Kyle Bruston. Nortman said, hey, Strouf, you're right. He is a top 5 coach. Here are the top 5 coaches, according to Brad Nortman, which I don't agree with this list. But this is what Brad Nortman said are the top 5 coaches in the league. The part we can't agree on is number 1 is Andy Reid. Number 2, he says Kyle Shanahan. 3, Dan Campbell. For Nordy, and that's where he lost me. 4, Sean McVay. 5, Matt LaFleur. For Brad Nortman coming out of week 2 of the NFL season. My list is similar, but it goes like this. Number 1, I have Andy Reid. Number 2, Kyle Shanahan. Number 3, I have Sean McVay. Number 4, I have Matt LaFleur. And number 5, I have Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the way I'm viewing this list is not, all time, what have you done for me overall, right? Because then you got to start having the conversation of Mike McCarthy, who's won a Super Bowl. That's not what I want to do. Top 5 coaches right now as it stands. If you are an NFL team, these are the 5 guys you want leading the charge. Reid, Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, and Tomlin. Those are my top 5. Mike Tomlin, by the way, has his Steelers off to a 2-0 start. So those would be the top 5 for me as it stands right now. I think Matt LaFleur is number 4. He always got viewed as being carried by his quarterback, especially during the Aaron Rodgers era. But this guy's won more football games in his first 5 years as a head coach besides one guy way back in the day. LaFleur is unbelievable. So he deserves that credit. He deserves the ranking of a top 5 head coach. I have him number 4 as it stands right now. So there you have it. All right. Fun tradition we do on Wednesdays here on Mr. Irrelevant. We play one word for each NFL team following the previous week of the NFL season. So right now it is time to play one word for each NFL team after week 2 of the NFL season. Hunter.
We're going to start in the AFC West this week. The Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos. Experiment.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Minshew Mania.
The Chargers.
Khakis.
The Chiefs.
Zebras.
Oh, that's bad. NFC West. The 49ers.
Trouble?
The Cardinals.
Intriguing.
The Seahawks.
Kicker.
The LA Rams.
Injuries.
The AFC South. Houston Texans.
Exciting.
The Jags.
Falling.
The Titans.
Inefficient.
And then the Colts.
Hopeless.
NFC South. The Falcons.
Surprised.
The Saints.
Surprised.
The Buccaneers.
MVP field. Like Mayfield? Get it?
Great. That's multiple words. The Panthers.
Dysfunctional.
AFC North. The Browns.
Yuck.
The Ravens.
Turnaround.
The Bengals.
Gonna do my best Kendrick Lamar here. All right.
The Steelers.
Tomlin.
The NFC East, the Commanders.
Growing.
The Eagles.
Collapse.
The Giants.
Hilarious.
And the Cowboys.
Smoked.
AFC East, the Dolphins.
Concussion.
The Patriots.
Efficient.
The Buffalo Bills.
Gas.
And the Jets.
Age.
And finally, the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings.
Answer?
The Detroit Lions.
Backstep.
The Chicago Bears.
Ha!
And the Green Bay Packers.
COY. It's an acronym for Coach of the Year.
Again, multiple words, man. It's literally
Hunter.
called one word. We have it on the screen, three different places.
I'm sticking with the. Yeah, you're right. I'm sticking with the acronym for the Packers for the time being. I went MCL week 1. I'm going COY week 2. Coach of the Year for Matt.
It's not one word. Like, just follow the rules.
I think this segment needs to be put under advisement.
Oh, through 2 weeks?
Yeah, you've had a tough go.
I think I crushed that.
Well, and like, I know that you procrastinated on this and you came up with some of those right before the show. Like, I'm going to call you out here. Like, you knew you had 7 days to prepare for this. So you could have had two of them done on Thursday. 7
days. I had 2 days. I had 2 days.
Was the Chargers one not the same exact one?
Two of them were the same. Yeah. Chargers was khakis 2 weeks in a row, and Cardinals were intriguing 2 weeks in a row.
You could just say running or Dobbins.
Yeah.
No, khakis. I will always respect Jim Harbaugh. I mean, he's got that team humming, and he deserves more credit than the running game.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins has had both his Achilles surgically repaired.
Yeah, he's had a great year.
And he's been the most efficient running back in the league.
He's been great. Don't get me wrong. But
and you're over here saying khakis?
Yes, I'm over here saying khakis. You'll get over that.
I don't know if you're an NFL guy. Like, I'm calling that into question now.
Shut up. Shut up.
Hunter's got a point.
Shut up, Hunter. No, he doesn't have a point. Don't tell him he's got a point when he doesn't.
Giants should be neighbors. He had like a 70% target share. He was the entire offense.
They stink.
He had nearly 200 yards. He was insane.
And he's the most incredible rookie.
I understand that. Him and Marvin Harrison both had great bounce back week 2s. But the story is more about the Giants than it is Malik Neighbors. That team stinks.
It's Malik Neighbors, the most interesting thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
The other ones I did want to point out. I said age for the New York Jets. It's because they're old, but Braylon Allen scored a touchdown.
Wow.
Braylon Allen's young. I've never heard that before. Didn't know that.
I was proud of age.
So original.
There were a couple other ones I was proud of. Oh, efficient. The Patriots haven't turned the ball over yet this year. Thought that was good.
Okay, that is a good one. I'll give you that.
I think a more interesting one would be when. As in, when are they going to play Drake May? Because they're good enough to keep Jacoby Brissett in there.
Yeah.
But he's clearly limited.
He is limited. But I would imagine Drake May is also limited. Are you guys going to give me the pass on MVP field for Baker?
It was creative.
I've erased it.
It's just, Strouf, it's one word. Like, I'm going to go back
Baker
to this.
Or
Yeah,
I
think I did Baker Mania last week. And as people who have you've been listening, I think episode 4 was when or maybe it was episode 7. It was one of the first episodes of Mr. Relevant last year. I actually did a segment on how good Baker is. Maybe it wasn't a segment. It was more one of my ADHD derailments, which happens from time to time on the show.
It was back when you did the whiteboard
tangent.
Strouf notes. You had him on there.
Yeah, I used to have a whiteboard, Joshy, way back in the day when the show first launched.
When
Rather
we had
than
zero budget.
When we had zero budget. If you're looking at YouTube, you see my rundown now on the right side. I used to hand write that on a big whiteboard and hold it the entire show. That's not a joke. That's how the show started. It was a good bit. We should bring it back one of these days. Hey, Maddie, who runs our social media, Maddie Hayes, our social media queen, I believe she goes by. There is a whiteboard right there, and you can keep your autograph on there. I saw you doodling before. Hand me the whiteboard. Marker, please. Thank you.
Nice
and
catch.
as you can see, Maddie Maddie signed the whiteboard.
Little
with
heart
her
on the
autograph.
eye.
Yeah, heart on the eye for Maddie. I think we should go back to the whiteboard. So let's do this. I'm going to write down the next thing we're doing because I'm going to send you to a video. My handwriting is so atrocious. No wonder we got rid of this. Here's what we're doing next. Bernie's slide. Hunter, roll the tape. Opportunity of a lifetime today. Come with me to American Family Field, the home of the Milwaukee Brewers, to slide down the infamous Bernie the Brewer's slide. Not a half bad view from the chalet.
I can't wait to see the little weenies that come next. Brad and Strouf are going to be like, ah.
All right, here goes nothing. All right, Bernie. Don't love this. Don't love this.
Holy guy acts like he just went 100 miles per hour in a car.
That was fast. I thought it was going to be the Dodgers guy. Hit the wall.
This is some real Gen Z drama energy.
Yeah, I might have been a little dramatic yesterday, but cool opportunity nonetheless to go down Bernie's slide. So sources told me after the fact, I found this out earlier this morning, that they actually greased up the slide for a bunch of our teammates from 620 WTMJ, ESPN Wisconsin were over there we're filming something, some promotional material ahead of the Brewers playoff run, and we're dubbing it, sliding into the postseason. And so they greased up the slide. Dude, I was cooking on that thing. Hunter, I know you went down the slide as well. I felt like I was going really fast, and I'm not a fan of heights. That thing is way higher up than I guess I realized.
Yep.
And I was shaking a little bit. So, yeah, I was really nervous. I'm not going to lie to you about going down that slide. And you could hear my noise there. Right as I started going down the slide. I handled that like a wimp.
Well, and where you made that noise, the thing I didn't realize about that slide is, it's kind of level as you start, but then that drop hits really quick to the point where, you're sitting upright, and then all of a sudden it, throws you backwards because you go cruising down that thing. It is a much bigger deal slide than I thought it was.
And the thing is, too, so it's kind of built like a water slide. So when you're making that turn, you kind of slide up to the side. And I was like, oh, my goodness, is this going to be my final breath?
It's built like a water slide.
What are you laughing at?
They raise the sides because physics tell you if you have to change direction, your momentum is still going to try to push you forward. So that is why water slides are built that way.
Josh, you can't be
It's not
dropping
just for
physics
fun.
on Strouf. Come on. You know better.
It was just the fact that he thought it was some special feature. It's not just them compensating for physics and not sending Bernie off the corner of the slide.
That's a good point.
That is engineering protecting you and Bernie the Brewer. That's all that is.
Protecting you and Bernie the Brewer. That's the only time we've ever been used in the same sentence like that. Thanks, Joshy.
I have one. So I didn't do this simply because I'm afraid of heights. I've sat up there towards Bernie's slide.
Good choice.
And looked at it. I'm not a fan of heights. That's one of the few things that truly gives me the weak knees, queasy stomach.
Oh, dude, my left leg was shaking.
Yeah, I get dizzy.
Brad Nortman said he's afraid of heights, but he handled it like a champ. I handled it like a wimp because the staircase you climb, and of course Brust, right? Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman. He's a clown.
Yeah.
Right? He's such a show off. Everything's about him.
Yes.
So he was filming himself walking up this really steep staircase. And at one point, Joshy, he turns around as I'm behind him, and he's like, "How you doing, Strouf?" Midway up the staircase, I'm like, I'm gripping both handlebars. I'm like, "Can you please keep moving?"
Yeah, I got to get the flat ground.
Oh God, it was a situation, but really cool opportunity. And look, the Brewers can clinch today, and spoiler alert, they're clinching today. Cubs play the A's here in about 25 minutes. If the Cubs lose to the A's like they did last night, the celebration isn't going to be quite as fun at AmFam Field tonight because win or lose, the Brewers clinch prior to that game. But if the Cubs win, all the Brewers have to do tonight is beat the Phillies. I will be there. I'm going to the game tonight. Going to go have a few cocktails and cheer on the crew one way or another. Hopefully, is it bad for me? Actually, I did want to ask you guys this before we get to what we learned. Is it bad that I'm kind of rooting for the Cubs? because I want the Brewers to do it themselves. Like, I want them to win while I'm there. We can all celebrate together at the end of the game. Like, I'm kind of rooting for the Cubbies, not directly, but I want the Brewers to do it themselves rather than having it clinched prior to the game, because it kind of kills my energy for tonight's game.
Yeah, backdooring into the playoffs it kind of sucks, but the fact that they're going to do it this early is still awesome. So I'm still happy about it because it's so early for them to do that.
Don't get me wrong. They're making the playoffs. They're winning the division. Right? We know this. They're going to win at least one game the rest of the year. And the Cubs are going to lose at least one game the rest of the year. And it could be today. It could be, this afternoon. But I don't want them to backdoor it. I'm going to the game. I want to be selfish and witness them beat the Phillies, who are a damn good team, and solidify their playoff run, solidify the division, and have a little celebration. Pop a couple bottles.
If we remember last season, this exact scenario played out where the Brewers lost a game, and then
that's right.
Like 15 minutes, Sophia Minute reminded me of this. About 15 minutes later, I forget the game that ended, but the Brewers did back in. With this big of a lead and this far, like, it would be a lot more fun for the fans and for the players and staff to do their champagne celebration after a win, as opposed to, see, if they win and the Cubs lose, then it's going to be fun no matter what.
No, it will be.
It would just be odd if the Cubs win and the Brewers, if it's the other way around. If the Cubs lose, the Brewers lose, and then it's just kind of like, well, I guess we're celebrating.
Right. And so, I don't know. It doesn't.
I have one thing based on the video, since we're still in the Brewers here quickly,
go ahead.
before what we learned.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be the talk to your phone, do the voiceover guy thing? Because that
Great
is one
question.
thing. That is one thing I have never been able to bring myself to do. I don't even like taking selfie video when we get asked to do stuff like that. It makes me deeply uncomfortable. Even so far as if I see people doing that in public, I feel like I'm seeing them in their underwear. Like, I feel like I'm seeing a very intimate moment I should not be seeing.
I didn't mind it.
Like, do you hide when you do that?
So I did it after the fact. I recorded it in a side studio, just that
Right.
10-second voiceover. It was weird. It's the first time I've done it. I've typically just been, I don't mind the talking to my phone part. Like, I'm good with that. I actually, when Kenny Clark signed his contract extension a few months ago, I was grocery shopping, and I got a text from Maddie, who's sitting next to my right, and she's like, "Hey, can you just film a quick reaction?" And I'm like, "Sure." I'm wearing glasses, like I'm hungover. It's a Sunday morning. So I stepped outside of the grocery store, and I walked to the side of the building and recorded it in front of a brick wall.
So you did do it in private. You didn't do it just walking down the aisle?
No, I thought about it, but I was like, I'm going to make everybody here uncomfortable because I'm going to be in sports radio mode.
Yeah, I think that's a little
nobody wants to see
generational
that.
thing, because me talking to my phone, I can't. It makes me shudder.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. So, it's strange, but you can get me on TikTok if you're on there at Strouf ESPN, STROUF ESPN on TikTok, as well as Instagram at Strouf ESPN. That's where I posted this. So I don't know if you want more random content. I usually only post like show clips because it's just I'm already having these conversations. But sometimes you got to do the cool stuff that we get the opportunity to do, like going down Bernie's slide yesterday. So at Strouf ESPN on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow along with me. Hey, got to tell you about how you can win yourself some money. The NFL season is here. Baseball is going on. Big one tonight for the crew. My partner Underdog Fantasy wants to make your experience a lot more exciting. Join me and millions of fans that play the Underdog app with their Pick'em game. You can win money by making sports picks. All you got to do is take a look at player projections on their stats, pick higher or lower. You can pick between 2 to 8 players and win up to 1,000 times your money this season on the Underdog app or UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up, use promo code GoodKarma up to $1,000 in deposit match and a free pick on the Underdog app. Make picks, win money this season with Underdog and Underdog Fantasy.com. All you got to do, higher or lower. And there's another free pick this week in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb, once again, all he needs is to get 1 yard. And you've got an easy win on that pick. Over half a yard for CeeDee Lamb. All you got to do, pick higher on that entry. And you got a free pick. Good stuff. Underdog app. Use promo code GoodKarma, GOODKARMA. Good Karma at sign up to $1,000 deposit match and a free pick like CeeDee Lamb. Go ahead, Joshy.
Did you guys start the streak attempt, or did you forget?
No, I forgot.
Okay, well, Friday we're going to be doing a streak with you or without you.
I'll be gone.
Since I'll be covering it. Did you, by chance, enter into any of those hires on the 0.5 touchdowns for those running backs that are vulture protected?
I did this weekend. I forget who, though, because I got one. But I'd have to look.
I was pounding out like 8-person.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I ended up in making a profit. Some of them I got a little, but those are vibes. Those are fun.
Those are
You're
vibes.
just rooting. You got Red Zone on.
Vibes.
You got Red Zone on. You got the Underdog app open, and you're just rooting for touchdowns. Anytime any teams in the near the goal line, you're just saying rushing touchdown. Get me in there.
All right, we got to get out, so we'll wrap it up quickly with what we learned, what I learned. Adrian Wojnarowski calling it a day. Woj has retired from ESPN after years and years and years of being the NBA's best insider, one of the best reporters. He's transformed how we consume the NBA with the Woj bomb. He is the all-time great NBA reporter. Woj announcing his retirement from ESPN this morning, and his next chapter was released. Woj is now the general manager of men's basketball at his alma mater, St. Bonaventure, as he steps away from being the best insider in the NBA. So congratulations to Adrian Wojnarowski, a terrific career, and now takes a step in a different career, the new general manager of men's basketball at St. Bonaventure. Kind of a badass move for Woj, as the Woj bombs have come to an end. The final Woj bomb announced this morning that he will be retiring from ESPN.
The one thing I learned that's definitely based off of that is that college programs have general managers for the basketball team.
Some of them do, some of them don't, right? There's no rules on what your staff would be, right? Your university just allocates a certain dollar amount.
Yeah.
So like for Doug Gottlieb at Green Bay, he lowered his own salary so he could continue to do his national radio show and then hire more assistants around him. So it's just kind of up to the program and the head coach how they allocate those dollars. But Woj as a GM doesn't seem like a bad hire.
No, not at all. A lot of connections too to a lot of like the local area as well. With
Imagine getting recruited by Woj.
would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool if you're like a 17-year-old kid. So anyway, congrats to Woj. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Jordan Love back at practice. I think he's going to play Sunday, but we will find out. Joshy is back with you on Friday beginning at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. You can catch Joshy filling in for me Sunday and Monday. I'm going to call in Monday on the car ride home, Joshy, so expect a phone call Monday afternoon.
We'll see if we can fit you in.
Yeah, right. Good attitude on that from Joshy. But appreciate you hanging out. Big thanks to Door County Distillery. Big thanks to Underdog for helping out the program and being great partners on the program. Win some money this weekend on the Underdog app. Joshy's going to start the streak on Friday, so looking forward to watching that as well. Go Pack, go. Enjoy your weekend if I don't talk to you. But Joshy's got you Friday and Monday as I head out to Nashville to watch Jordan Love return or the Malik Willis revenge game, one or the other. We will talk to you. I will talk to you next Wednesday. Joshy's got you Friday and Monday. It's Mr. Irrelevant presented by Door County Distillery. We'll talk to you then. I'm Alex Strouf. Peace.